Okay, hello everyone. So I'm here to show you how to use SPSS. I've saved the files in my download folder. Let's go to files I'm going to be using today. So you can see in this file, IY412 assessment support folder. If I open it, you'll be seeing the PowerPoint for today and the data set which I'm going to be using, which is weight height data tree. So the first thing I need to do is to type SPSS, launch the software. It may take some seconds to come up. So you will need to be patient. It may take 5 seconds, 10 seconds, or 15 seconds, just depending on the size of your RAM. Okay, so it's up. Now, the first thing I do before I import the data is to go and check the file format. So what I'll do, I'll right-click on it and go to Properties. And then I can see here that it's .xlsx, which means that the file is a Microsoft Excel file. Click OK. So now I can go and import file, import data, and Excel. And that's because I have checked previously and I saw that it's a Microsoft Excel file. So Excel, and then I select. Sometimes you may not see it here, and that's because you are not currently in the folder. So if you don't see the file you want to use, you may need to click this arrow and then navigate to the folder where you have saved the file. Okay, so I'll select the file. You can see it's an Excel file, and then I click Open. It may take some seconds to load, especially if it's a very large data set and if your RAM size is small. Okay, so once this shows up, ensure that you have this box ticked. The read variable name from first row of data box. So it's ticked already. Then you click OK. It may take some seconds to load. Okay, so the data now has been imported to SPSS. Now let's look at what we have here. Your assessment is this. This is one of your assessment questions. It says choose a specific year from the data set. Okay. All right. So and create 2 bar charts representing the life leader scores of 2 countries from that year. 10 countries from 1 continent, for example, Europe, Asia, Africa, or any other continent, and another 10 continents from and another 10 countries from a different continent. All right, let's bring this down. Let's have this down. So it's okay. So there are 2 parts to the question. All right. So now we are going to select a specific year. But instead of selecting a specific year, because this is your assessment, what I did was I designed a different question, which is task 2, asking you to choose a specific gender. So in your assessment, you are required to choose a specific year, but here I have asked you to choose a specific gender. Okay. So how you do that is that you go to SPSS, you click data, select cases. I'll do that again. So you go to data, select cases, gender, if. Now I click gender and click this arrow. Alternatively, I can decide to just click and drag. Okay, that's the same thing. So I'll say gender is equal to male. So what I am trying to do is that I am trying to, instruct SPSS to show me only the rows where the gender is male. You can decide to choose female. You can decide to choose male. Okay. So I'll say continue. And then, okay. You will see that male is open. Male is open. All the males are open, but the female have been crossed out. The females have been crossed out. And that means that any analysis you carry out in this data will apply only to the male, only to the rows containing the male category. Let's expand the gender column. So this is the gender column, male and female. It has two categories. So what we've done is just to hide all the rows containing the female category. And like I said, you can decide to work with the female and hide the male categories. So we have succeeded in choosing a specific gender. The next thing we need to do is to create two bar charts. Before we create two bar charts, we have to create our groups, because we're actually supposed to create the bar chart representing salaries in different cities across the groups. In your assessment, you are asked to create two bar charts presenting countries in two continents. So what I'm going to do to create the groups, which is group 1 and group 2, you can see it here, group 1, group 2. I'm going to create a variable, a new variable named group. And in that variable, so when I say variable, that column, I will have two categories, group 1 and group 2. And then I will have another category containing every other item that is not in group 1 and in group 2. To do that, I'll go to transform, recode into different variables. Then I will click city, enter. And that's why did I click city? And that's because I want to put all these cities into these categories. Okay, and that's why I chose city from here. Let's put it back. Sorry, again. I'll click city and then I click this arrow. Sometimes you may not see city, and that's because the default that's shown here is the labels and not the exact variable names. So for me to see the exact variable names, I need to say right click and now you see display variable names. Okay. The reason why these are showing the same is because there are no labels for this data. I think one of them has a label. Let's see. If you right click and go back to variable labels, you notice that, let's expand this. You notice that what we have here is high CM height. Okay. Now, let's right click and click display variable. Did you notice it changed to height? So this is the actual variable name. And then the label is what you see when you go to display variable. Okay. But for these ones, there are no labels. So it shows you the same thing. All right. And again, just to let you know, you can right click anywhere. It doesn't have to be on this. It can be here. It can be here. You still see this. It can be here. You still see this. Okay. So it's good to always have them as display variables. So we want gender. Select gender. No. We want cities, not gender. Okay. We want cities. And that's because I say we want to classify the cities into groups. Click this arrow and I give the name of the new group which I want to create. So I want to create a new column and the name should be group. So I'll just type group. Remember that variable names are not supposed to have spaces in between letters or words. So ensure that you don't have a space. So when I say space, don't have space like this. Otherwise, you have error message. For label is just any sentence or phrase you can type to describe this variable. So I can say the group containing the groups. Okay, or I can say the variable containing the groups. It can be anything, just what describe this column. I click change. Okay, just again, just to let you know, you are free to have a space here. We are not free to have a space in the variable, but you are free to have a space, like consider the space between variable and containing. Okay, so you click change, and then you notice that when I click change, there was something that appeared here showing city will now be categorized into different groups. Click old and new variables. So what I want to do now is I'll begin to classify these cities into these variables. So I'll start from group 1. I'm going to be attaching London, Liverpool, and Bath into group 1. So I'll say London, and then I'll put it in group 1. You can see I'm trying to type, but it's not working. And that's because what I want to type in here will contain a qualitative variable, which is letters or words. So I need to click output variables as string. Now, you need to watch. Once I click here, this will become active. You can see we then have this copy old and copy old values. If I untick it, the copy old values disappear. If I tick it, it appears, which means it's now active. So London will be in group 1. I click add. You see, this means that London has been placed in group 1. So let's see what we have. So London is in group 1, Liverpool is in group 1, Bath is in group 1. So Liverpool will be in group 1. Bath will be in group 1. The next thing we are going to do is group 2. So what do we have in group 2? Manchester, Sheffield, and Bradford. Remember, these spellings have to be correct. Otherwise, you will have error message. So Manchester will be in group 2. At Manchester is in group 2. Sheffield and Bradford are also in group 2. So I'll say Sheffield in group 2 and Bradford in also group 2. Okay. So let's say you made a mistake, and let's say you want to type maybe Bradford X, and you mistakenly type Bradford. All you need to do is just click here, and then this will show, and then you can go here and click Bradford X, and then in that case you need to click change, and you can see it has changed to Bradford X. So that's how to change. That's how to edit this section if you make a mistake. But I do not want Bradford X. What I want is Bradford. So I'll click it again. And I'll go to Bradford. And I click change. Okay, change. All right. So when you finish entering, you just click. Okay, let's go and see what we have. Okay, we have placed these in group 1 and this in group 2. Now, usually you will have other cities. So this means that place every other city into the category for other cities. Okay, so what I do is I see all other values. I just click here, all other values. And that should be where, let's see, that should be in other cities category. So I'll click other cities. Okay. Okay, you can see I did not put any space here. Okay. So I click add, and then I say continue. Okay. So we don't need this information. You just close. No, we do not want to change. And then you can see this. Okay. So we have them. You can see Liverpool is in group 1. Bradford is in group 2, as we have here. Liverpool is in group 1. Bradford is in group 2. You can scroll down to see. The next thing I am going to do is I can decide to go back here. I can decide to go back here. I can decide to go back here and make this maybe 12 or 14. Yeah. And increase it to 14. And then okay. Sorry, let's just leave it as 8. Okay, let's leave it as 8. All right. We don't want this. All right, so now that you have these categories, remember, I want to create 2 bar charts representing salaries in different cities across the groups. So I'm interested in only group 1 and group 2. So I do not want other cities, yeah, because the bar should be showing only countries here and countries here. So I am going to hide every column containing other cities. What that means is that All these columns, other cities, I'm going to hide them. Remember how we hid the rows containing female category at the start. So that's the same thing I'm going to do here. Okay. But I'll do a little bit of coding. So I'll go to data, select cases. Remember what I told you, just right click on anywhere and say display variable so you can see the actual variable names. So I want the group because that's what I've created. Okay, I want the group. So I want to hide all these other cities row. So I'll click if. So this is just what I did last, just there. So I'm going to say, give me only the rows. So I'll click this group and click this arrow. Give me only the rows where group is equal to group 1, then all group is equal to group 2. So what I'm just telling SPSS is that show me only the rows containing group 1 and group 2. So this is the code. Okay, and then I say continue and okay. You will notice that all these ones that have other cities have been crossed out. Look at this one, group 1, you see, it's not crossed out. Okay, look at this one, group 1, it's not crossed out. Look at this one, group 2, it's not crossed out, which means any analysis I carry out now will appear to only group 1 and group 2, which is what I want. And this is important because if you don't hide them, you will have so many bars showing, making your graph look cluttered. So now I can then go and create the 2 bar charts. And how to do that is to say graph bar cluster, okay, summaries for group of cases, define. Now I want to compare the salaries. You can see I want to compare the salary. Yep. So this is the quantitative variable. What I'm going to do, I'm going to come here and say other statistics. Now this is salary. Remember, I told you what will show you here at first will be the labels. For you to see it properly, just right click on anywhere and say display variable names. You can see the salary is showing clearly. So put it here. Sorry. Gender, salary. So the only thing you can put here is a quantitative variable. Okay. All right. Click here and then say change statistics. And that because what I want to display is the sum of all the salaries. So I click sum. And then this. Now the category should be the group 1 and group 2 because my bar will be showing countries in group 1 and countries in group 2. So here I'm going to go to this group and fix. Now, for these defined clusters, what it means is that in each group, I'm going to have countries, which means I'm going to put, in each group, I'm going to have cities. You know, for your assessment, you have continents and countries. But here I have group and cities. So I'm going to go back and take city and fix here. When I have done that, the last thing to do is just to click OK. But you can see my OK button is hidden. I'm trying to move this up, I can't see it. So that you may face that challenge, but don't worry. What you need to do is just to click here and your OK button becomes activated. It's hidden under here, right? So once you click here, it becomes activated automatically, and then you press enter in your keyboard. But if it's not hidden, you just press OK. Okay. So I've clicked here, my OK button has been activated. I'll just press enter. And that's all. I've created my clustered bar chart. Group 1, these are the countries in group 1. These are the countries in group 2. You can see that this blue one is this one, but this gray one is Liverpool, purple one is London. So Bath, Liverpool, and purple are in group 1. And if you look at this, you will see Bath, Liverpool, and London are in group 1. Okay? So this is the end of this tutorial. I hope this will be very helpful to help you do your assessment and to understand SPSS very well. Okay, feel free to ask any question if you struggle. Good luck. So I'll stop sharing. Let's stop sharing.